All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast. I'm Jay Teagues, leadership trainer, speaker, founder of the Do Hard Things Nation. I have the lovely, ravishing Angie Bertrand with me. How are you doing this morning? What up, what up?
It's Monday. Woohoo!
It is Monday. Another Monday. Yeah. It's a stormy Monday here in the Midwest. I know I was up at like 3:30. I actually got up out of bed at 4 because it was just like the house was shaking, like boom. And I guess I just heard some thunder down your way. So it's that time of year. Yeah. It's May. We're living in Tornado Alley. So.
Oh, yeah. Let's not speak that over here today. Yeah. Good job, Jay. Good job.
Well, welcome back, everybody. And this week, we're going to talk about stop being busy and start being more productive. Some strategies to help you just stay more focused. It is very difficult in this day and age when there's just so many distractions. There's a lot of people like, man, I just feel overwhelmed and there's just so much going on. How do I get more done? How do I stay focused on the tasks at hand so I can be more productive?
And is cloning myself part of this today? Cloning?
Cloning?
No, cloning myself, not an option. No.
I wish there was a strategy for that.
Okay.
Because I could use about 5 more of myself.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, Kyrie. Kyrie's on this morning.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody. Well, yeah. So, but yeah, that's the thing. We're all trying to be more focused on the things that matter. And, so we talk about a lot is like, how do we do the things that not just doing our busy work all the time, but staying focused on the things that matter, because that's what leads to true fulfillment and happiness and engagement. And we squander so much of our time doing a bunch of BS that is unfulfilling. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we get into that, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes. We're on all platforms. Leave us a review. Go over to Apple and leave us a review. It goes a long way for us to expand the Do Hard Things Nation. If you're not in the Facebook group, you should be. And, share it with your friends. We want to get the word out on what we're doing. And, this is a pretty fun podcast. So we always try to drop some nuggets. And this episode is sponsored by the Lions Guide and The Forge. The Forge is a high-performance community. We feel that leadership solves most problems within your organization, family, and even yourself. And we empower everyday people to become world-class leaders. And The Forge we have a weekly call where we provide frameworks, challenge, accountability, and emotional support group to navigate life, because life is freaking hard. And you need a tribe of people that you can kind of lean on. We also have a book club. And so there's basically I have 2 calls that you can attend each week, and they're all recorded. So if you can't make them, if you'd like to learn more about that, go to lionsguide.com or reach out directly. And we're also sponsored by Do Hard Things Apparel. So show the world that you go out and crush epic, do things. We got hats, we got shirts, we got challenges going on. We got some events coming up. So go to dohardthingsnation.com to learn about all the things that we're doing over there. And as far as upcoming events, we're currently week 2 in the month of Murph. You can go get your free download sheet. Murph is an annual tradition to honor the life of Michael Murphy and those that have fallen. And it's a very challenging workout. And we're doing the month of Murph leading up to that. We got the Do Hard Things 5K and 9.11 mile run in September. So you can sign up for that. There's a virtual option if you can't make it with us here in Missouri. And I just created and uploaded the best Sapper competition video, which is over on YouTube. So you want to go check that out because it was pretty cool. So
yeah, you definitely want to check that out. That was awesome.
So that's it. But Angie, what's new in your world?
Oh, let's see. I went and ran on the engineer trail yesterday in 90-degree weather. First summer run of the year.
It was freaking hot yesterday.
Dude, yeah. It was very hot, very hot. That's why I went on the engineer trail, because it's mostly shaded, but it was still just like, man, when that mile 6, I was just like, yep, I'm done. I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, for the engineer trail is on Fort Leonard Wood, and it's pretty hilly. It's a pretty cool trail, but it's pretty hilly.
Yeah. I walked the uphills mostly. I ran the flats and the downhills. Yep.
Awesome.
But that's it.
I ran a 5K Saturday with my lovely wife, and my goal was to beat her, and I did. I beat her. And that was fun. She's looking at me now, like scowling at me. Now she's got revenge in her eyes. So we got a little competition. We were kind of going back and forth on that, but yeah, it was fun up here in Columbia, and we did some yard work, so it was nice. But yeah, I love that the temperature is changing, and that it's just nice out. It's nice seeing people out on the trail getting after it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of people out this weekend too, so it was cool.
Yeah. So one of the what we want to talk about today is like how do we stay focused? It's been a big topic in the Forge is how to stay focused, be productive. Don't just do busy. Don't just be busy. Be productive, and
Mhm.
productive leads to being happy and fulfilled. And you know, when we have distraction, it can cause a lot of negative impacts on our life. It's hard to stay focused on work or school, and we live in an incredibly abundant society where there's just distraction everywhere. Turn on the news, you turn on social media, whether it's by design or not. I feel like there's some level of design to it, but everything is like it's designed to kind of be addictive and just kind of suck you in
Mhm.
for whatever reason. And it's a challenge for a lot of people. It's a challenge
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
What is your biggest distraction, Angie? What would you say is your biggest?
My biggest distraction, I guess at night while getting ready, while laying in bed, not putting the phone down. So like those
Hmm.
last minute little scrolls on
Yeah.
social media or something like that. Because I mean, in the morning time, I'm really actually really good about not like I pick up my phone, turn my alarm off, and I don't jump on anything. Like I just go grab my cup of water, drink my water really quick, jump in the shower and get things going. But at night, I would say probably scrolling social media.
Yeah. The TikTok gets me
Does
at night.
the
Yeah.
TikTok,
The
the
TikTok.
TikTok on the interwebs?
I know it used to. I used to avoid it, and I don't know.
Yeah,
It's really it's interesting how it like curates itself because now it's like it's very difficult because it's like all the videos that I like to watch. Like I don't know over because I'll look at like Lacey's TikTok or whatever. It's like completely different than my TikTok. It's interesting how it's kind of curated
yeah,
itself, and
yes,
so
yes. We've
yeah,
talked about that before. We've talked about how that's called. They refer to that as the user experience. The enhanced user experience, I believe, is what it's called, something like that. And that's how they keep you sucked in.
yeah, yeah.
All
And
those
Kyrie
algorithms.
Kyrie says TikTok is unironically where I get most of my news from. You know, that's the thing that really sucks me in most. I'm interested in the conflict in Ukraine, and so there's a lot of videos that pop up on there which you don't see on the day to day news. Which I think that's one of the reasons it kind of captivates me a little bit because it's like it's things that you
Mhm.
wouldn't typically see. It's amazing. It's amazing that you can watch this like unfold in real time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a it knows that. I mean, they have the algorithms honed in right for me,
Yes.
so they get us
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Another thing that distracts me is like at the end of a long day. I don't watch a lot of TV, but at the end of the day,
Mhm.
I like to wind down, and there'll be like one episode, and then it sucks me in for like two episodes, and then I'm like, and that extra episode is like what cuts into my sleep. So I got to be very careful about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank I've been watching Ted Lasso and I
Oh,
binged
that's a good one.
and what's crazy, so check this out. I'm not really into soccer, but I really like Ted Lasso. But now all of our Apple TV, our Echo with the screen thinks that we're into soccer. So now we're constantly getting all these soccer updates and on the TV and on the Echo show, I guess is what it's called on the screen. And so it's like, oh, you guys will watch Ted Lasso. You must be really into soccer. I'm like, no, I'm just really into that show. But
Yeah,
thankfully, I've caught up. So now it's just a once a week deal. That's pretty much the only show that I'm that's kind of sucking me in right now. So
that's a really good show. I've only seen a few episodes, only because I
yeah.
don't have Apple TV, but I think I saw them on the plane and then at someone's house. That was really good.
Hmm.
I need to go
It
and
is. It's
download
a
it.
good show. Yeah.
But but what you're talking about is when you mention something and it pops up everywhere. It's really
Yeah.
kind of creepy. But it's called
It is.
Pixels. I think it's what it's called. It's an actual marketing program that they pay for. I said something
Hmm.
yesterday about my foot hurting after the run, and it was I don't know. It was all over my social media about fasciitis and a bunch of other things. I'm like, okay, that's creepy. I've just started to get all these ads about like, foot orthotics and different shoes and things like that and articles about it. Like, okay,
Uh.
it's creepy. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
But
Oh yeah.
all right, so how do we set up some boundaries? Because truly we live and die by our habits. Our habits make or break us. And so many people, like, we don't even, we're just so out of touch with our actual habits. But how do we set up some boundaries so we don't get caught up in some of these distractions? Because these distractions cost us. I know, as we're
Yeah.
talking about that, I mean, for me, and I'm sure it's the same with you, it affects the quality of sleep that we get. That blue light, it's harder for us to get into the deeper sleep, or we stay up a little
Yeah.
bit later. That's just one of the effects. But what is it costing us to be distracted and have some of these things? Does it cost you anything extra besides
Productivity, man?
Yeah,
Productivity and sleep, all that's tied in together. I've been listening to The Miracle Morning, because I've heard you mention that book, I don't know, a million times over the past few years. And I'm like, let me listen to this. And, it's all about just setting yourself up with really good habits that become an automated process part of your day. And
Yeah.
for me, that's why I wake up and the first thing I do is get 30 ounces of water and drink it. This will be gone. This is you. Actually, it's almost already gone now. But setting those automatic habits in place, like just to, be a more productive human.
Yeah, that's what I love about that's what about I love about that framework of getting up in the morning and doing something to fill your cup first thing before you, because the rest of the day you're pouring from your cup to everyone else in every other role and capacity that you have. But it's like batching these positive habits into your life and starting the day on strong footing so you can pour from a full cup versus getting up, drinking coffee. Okay, so you've been dehydrated for the last 8 hours, then you're going to suck down a bunch of caffeine, right? And then maybe eating some poor meal on the go. You're scrolling your TikTok first thing in the morning. I mean, I see people like from time to time on social media. The first thing they do, they wake up in the morning, they're bashing the president, right? It's crazy. It's the first thing you think about in the morning. They're checking in on their email, and it's just you're framing the day and you're starting off with information overload, a lot of negative stuff, and you're already pouring, you just suck down a bunch of caffeine and you're already dehydrated. And it just sets the day, and people don't even realize it, because I know I've did it for many years of my life.
Yeah.
Until you replace those habits with something more positive that are energy enhancing, then you're like, wow, that really did take a bigger toll on me than I realized.
Well, and something that, just to take away from what I'm listening to right now, I do not want to butcher her name. Kyrie. Anyway, Kyrie. Thank you. So set the intent. So you mentioned you just crawled into bed. Set the intention tonight, whatever your time is that you're going to bed right now. Set your intention for how you're going to feel when you wake up. So like me last night, I went to bed a little bit late. We get up early on Monday mornings. And instead of going to bed thinking, oh my God, I'm going to wake up so tired in the morning, I'm going to be tired all day, I just said it to myself several times. You know what? It's late, but it's okay. I'm going to get up. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to crush tomorrow. When I woke up this morning, I thought, yeah, it's early, but I feel great, man. And today's going to be a great day. And I feel really good. Like, it's just, you set these intentions, just little bitty things that you don't even think about. And, a lot of people think, oh, that's woo woo, or that's, that doesn't even it's not going to make a difference. You'd be surprised. It really does.
I wore a Whoop strap for a little bit, and I really liked it in a lot of ways, because it monitors your sleep, and it tells you, like, your resting heart rate and how much recovery you had after a workout. But it would give you like a green, amber, red setting for the day. And there were days I'd wake up like green. I mean, yes, and I felt great. I was going to crush the day, and I'd go about my day. Then I would, I was really focusing on sleep habits. I went to bed normal time, did all the things that I thought I'd be fully recovered. And I'd wake up the next day, it would be like on a red. And I'm like, I did all the things I was supposed to do, and I'm a red, and it would like screw with my head the rest of the day. Well, obviously I'm tired. Maybe I should go take a nap. And I quit wearing it, because I'm like, okay, I understood what got me to the greens, but sometimes I would have an unexplained red from time to time, and it would completely dishevel me. And I'm like, okay, I can't wear this all the time, because it just threw me off. It's all mindset. Mindset can make or break you, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And that's
good morning, Zanita. Hey, Zanita's on there this morning.
Hey, Zanita. Right. Good morning. She's up getting after it, crushing it.
Yeah.
All right. So here's just a couple, just a couple tips and strategies to help you put some boundaries around, distraction and staying focused. So the first one, is identify first of all what is distracting you, and kind of inventorying your day. Like, what are some of the things that are distracting you? And look, we don't want to change the world all in one day. It's easy to be like, oh, up in cold turkey, I'm going to remove all my apps. I mean, removing all of your apps is great, but is it realistic for a lot of people? I don't know. But identify
I'm
what
not
is
doing it.
distracting you, and then how do you put a boundary around it? Removing notifications is a good one. But
Oh yeah.
first and foremost, what is distracting you, and what is it costing you? And what change do you need to make? And if you were to change one thing, what would that be? And it could be, turning off the TV. In the book Atomic Habits, it talks about having resistance to things, right? The reason
Hmm.
I love the Lasso show you're just talking about. What is his name?
Ted Lasso. Hmm.
Ted Lasso. I was gonna say Mike Lasso. That wasn't right.
Oh.
Ted Lasso. Every time I hear people talk about it, I'm like, yeah, I need to go watch that show. And I know if I watched it, I would probably binge out on it. But the reason I haven't is because I don't have Apple TV, and it's that resistance to.
Yeah.
It's like a step I have to go take. I have to go find out where Apple is and pay for it and all that. And I just haven't done it yet. But that
Right.
boundary has kept me from going in and binging that, right? And so, like Atomic Habits, it talks about like if you want to create a positive habit, you've got to reduce the friction and the resistance. So if you want to get up and work out in the morning, you put your 32-ounce cup of water. You're just probably right there on the counter, right? Easy to grab. You get up and do it.
Yep.
Put your running shoes on, and you're off to the gym. Everything is easy. But if you're trying to break a habit, you put layers of boundary and resistance into it to keep
Yeah.
you away. And there's a variety of ways of doing that. So determine what's distracting you and how can you put some resistance into it to keep you away from that. And yeah, that's
Well, something I noticed. I used to get distracted by notifications on my phone,
mhm.
and I didn't. I don't, just by messing around in the phone settings, I've grouped all my notifications into one small banner at the bottom,
Mhm.
so my phone's not constantly lighting up with all the things, and that actually has helped me out. Not just because I have my phone, I have the flashlight on, so I can always find my phone when it rings, right? So every time a notification goes off, though, my phone flashes. And so it was even at work, if it would flash, I would look over, and that's breaking my
Mm.
concentration at doing whatever I'm doing now. But it doesn't do that anymore. I mean, it was just a simple change in how I receive notifications on my phone to make me more productive throughout the day.
It's like Pavlov's dog, right? As soon as it dings, are you familiar with Pavlov's dog?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so it's yeah, I guess an experiment with the dog where they're giving it treats, and I think every time I got to go back and read. I think it was like when they ring the bell, the dog would get the treat or
Hmm.
something like that. And so
Yeah.
your
Something like
phone
that.
is very much like that. It dings, you go for that dopamine hit. I got to answer it. You've trained
Hmm.
yourself to answer it, and you ultimately
Yeah.
become a slave to it. And
Yeah.
it's not it's not a good habit. So yeah, removing notifications is a big one. You don't have to answer your phone in real time. You don't have to
Yeah.
answer every text and ding that comes in, and that's a
Yeah.
huge one. So that's first and foremost. If you're struggling with that's where I would have people start. All right, second strategy: just set time limits on things. Like we're talking about batching things, really. So, I mean, that's kind of the trend.
Mhm.
Batch your positive habits, batch your other habits. There's nothing wrong with social media in
Yeah.
moderation. There's nothing wrong with anything in moderation, and I think setting time limits enables you to do that effectively.
Yeah.
And there's a technique that time blocking is
Hmm.
a great technique for anything, for work things, for fun things, but batch them all together in time block. And there's some
Yeah.
apps out there that can help you do that. There's a Pomodoro app. You can just simply just set your timer for 50 minutes and just set the timer to a countdown timer. Put it on your desk. Okay, I'm not going to touch my phone, and I'm just going to
Hmm.
crush this one task. And if you do that consistently, it's amazing how much work that you can actually get done by just setting a timer, not touching anything, putting up that boundary. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to crush 50 minutes of work. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, that's something I used to do. At the last place I worked at, we were just so busy. I mean, incredibly busy. coming out of COVID, and I had to set from and I blocked and time blocked in hours at work, and I would dedicate the first hour to checking email, and I would not answer the phone. It would go to voicemail, and I would check my voicemail later, and then I would I would block another hour into just another task. And that is how I got through many, many, many days, because there was just no way, we were so behind on what we were doing. There was just no way to do it all. And that was the only way that I found that was productive for myself. And, if you get yourself a planner and you get one that breaks out the day in hours, you can visually, a lot of us are visual people, man. Use those hours and just block them in, and then so it's one thing to write it down, but you actually got to follow it, right?
Yeah.
So that could help someone that's out there struggling right now.
That's how you level up your to-do list. A lot of people operate off a to-do list, so you take your to-do list, you break it down into priority, and then you open up your planning system and you just plug it in those time blocks, and then time block your way through the day. And that's typically where that's like the next level of being productive is taking your to-do list, putting it into a planning system, and then time blocking it without distraction. And if you can get in the habit of doing that, you're going to be far more productive. You're going to get so much more done. And so set time limits, time block your to-do list, set up boundaries for those distractions. And I like to use the ABC method. A is like, it has to get done no matter what. There's going to be serious consequences. B are like, they're pretty urgent. If I don't get them done, they're going to turn into A tasks the next day or so. And then C tasks are like nice to do's. I'd really like to get it done. But it's not the end of the world if it doesn't. And then people are really bad about identifying how long it's going to take to do something. A lot of things I'm really good at, but they're like other project things. I tend to overestimate or underestimate how long it's going to take. And that's a challenge that I have sometimes still. But infinitely better than just operating off of a sticky note and a laundry list of to-dos, because it just feels like it's a never ending. I don't know. It leads to overwhelm, and just like it's never ending. And it's like, man, I just feel like I'm so busy all the time. So. But yeah, just some simple strategies to put up some boundaries. Is there anything, any other tip or trick that you think of off the top of your head?
I set a bedtime alarm, half an hour. My phone goes into bedtime mode. So unless you're on my emergency contact list at a certain time, I'm not going to receive a phone call from you. I'm not going to receive a text from you. And I'm not going to get any notifications from any apps after a certain time at night. And that's just a good reminder for me to, hey, if you haven't got your water ready for tomorrow, if you haven't got your meals prepped ready for tomorrow, if you haven't got your clothes ready for tomorrow, you better start getting on it, because it's about time to go to bed.
Yeah, I've got 9 o'clock. My thing says "Go the F to sleep," and that's from Samuel. You ever see? Have you ever listened to Samuel Jackson's "Go the F to Sleep"?
No.
Oh, it's on YouTube. There's a book called "Go the F to Sleep," and it's narrated by Samuel L. Jackson. So it's like a children's book read by him. It's hilarious. I'll have to get that to you. But it just a reminder, like, hey, we need a wind down bedtime routine. And so that comes on at 9 o'clock for me. Now, whether I heed it or not, that's another story, because I have it there with the intention of winding down. But sometimes, I don't know, you get into those Ozark episodes or whatever, that one episode leads to two. That's my bad habit. But at least I have that as a reminder, because sometimes it like gets in the evening and say, oh shoot, it is 9 o'clock. It's time to wind down. And go dim the lights, go. You know what makes me tired is going out for a walk in the evening.
That's
like
a good one.
Like a 10-minute stroll around the neighborhood in the evening. Man, that really makes me sleepy. So and I guess
it's really good for you. You're moving your body. You're knocking out two birds with one stone. Look, most of us don't move enough. Most people, just be honest with yourself. Unless you're training for something, most people don't get enough movement. And walking is movement. And it's so good to go out and have a walk after dinner. You know, wind you down, move your body. It's great for you. Hey, listen, if you're listening, you're like, oh my God, all this stuff is just so common sense. Yeah, it is common sense. There's a lot of things that are common sense, but are you doing them? Like, are you putting these common sense practices into place? or are you just sitting there thinking about it?
The common sense isn't common practice. That's it.
Yeah. I
Make
mean,
it common
what's common
practice.
sense to me might not be common sense to you, but I'm just saying, like, hey, if you're listening to these things, you're like, oh, that's so easy, that's just do it. Do it. If it's do it. Put it into place. One thing at a time.
It's easy, but it's hard. Hence, do hard things.
Yes.
It's doing the things that we know. We have all of the tools to be successful, but we just have really poor habits and lack of discipline. It's really what it boils down to. And we're not robots. I mean, we're talking about performance items, and I know I am not a robot. I've got to be reminded. I've got to have accountability. I've got to have systems in place to help me. And I don't always get it right every day, but I try and I get better every day because of it. My life is infinitely better than it was 10, 15 years ago because of all these practices and whatnot. And it's all, like you said, it's all simple things. Simple things.
Yeah.
So easy to do, easy not to do.
That's right.
All right. Well, I know we got to bounce off. We got other things that we got other fish to fry today, if you will. So let's get into today's spotlight winner. I love this one. I love all of them. They're awesome. All right. Share my screen here. Where are we at? Oh, it's doing that thing again. Oh, come on. Oh, hang on. It's only showing me one picture at a time. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rachel Baker. And Rachel inspires the heck out of me. And
yes.
Hang on a second. Okay.
Same.
So Rachel Baker just recently finished her 14th 100 miler. And she's a school teacher. And she's, when we talk about the Do Hard Things Nation, what is the Do Hard Things Nation? Well, it's a tribe and a community of people that are just trying to be better than they were yesterday. We encourage people to step up and to be role models. And you do that by, if you want to make an impact in the world, you make yourself better. And, we want to highlight people that are getting after it, being role models and in their actions and how they inspire other people. And Rachel has been awesome to watch over the last few years. I saw her at an endurance run a few years ago, and she's constantly posting on social media, and it inspires me. And she posted this yesterday. So I'm going to read this. This is her words. And so, why run so far? I do not have an inspiring or motivational answer for them. I selfishly run for me. I balance being a rock for so many others that running is a time for just me. I love being a wife, a mom, a teacher, and a friend. But if you don't replenish your cup, you can't give what you need to these relationships. Being married to a football coach can make fall exhausting, but this is what he loves. And on Friday nights, you see why. I've always felt my kids' school be involved in a few activities of their own so they can find their passions and interests. And I'm a firm believer that youth sports teaches kids what it means to work hard for the team and the importance of being there, even if you're not feeling it, and how to deal with adversity. I love my job as a teacher, but it's truly a service profession. I need to show up every day at my best for my students. I love it when they develop a love for math and problem solving, but most importantly, I want them to feel cared for and important. I lost another student this year, and grief is always hard. Every day when I walk in the classroom, I'm drawn to the empty desk, the desk that serves as a reminder of losing one of mine. It also brings up memories. So running is my outlet to help me deal with life. And I'm very thankful my family supports me running as much as they do, because they know they make sacrifices so I too can be out on the trail every day. And so I just thought that this was awesome because, one, she's in a role where she's a teacher and giving back. And, people are, when you're doing endurance sports, it's like, how do you have the time for this? Why do you do these things?
Yeah.
And there's just such a, I tell people I run and do these things, so don't throat punch people. But it's a form of meditation. It's a form of getting out there and getting after it and clearing your mind. And that's why it's so good. There's a lot of people like, I don't understand why people do that. Well, there's a peace of mind and a sense of accomplishment for doing these things. And so, Rachel, thank you for what you do as a teacher. Thank you for inspiring others. And I just love watching her crush her goals and get after it. It inspires me to see her getting after it. So thank you.
Yeah. And if you ever get a chance to meet her in person, man, she is just, she's really awesome to talk to. I've talked to her several times, and she's just a great human. Congrats, Rachel.
Yeah. Congrats. Awesome. So we're going to send you a shirt for doing hard things, being inspiration to others. We appreciate you. And if you're out there listening or watching and you want to nominate someone, reach out. Go to dohardthingsnation.com, reach out, and just give a quick bio of what they're doing. Someone that's doing something difficult, maybe they've achieved a life goal. It doesn't have to be running 100 miles. It might be their first 5K. It might be, getting a promotion. Maybe it's an anniversary of some kind, like a 20-year anniversary. But just someone that's just inspires you or doing something in the community that inspires others. We want to send them a shirt and just acknowledge them. So that's it. And
that's it.
That's all we got. So, all right. Well, it is time to dominate the rest of the day.
Yes.
And
go do something to make yourself smile today. I'm going to make myself smile. Going to make somebody else smile. Just one person, at least one. Hopefully it'll have a domino effect. We'll all be smiling by the end of the day. It's Monday. We need more smiles on Monday.
We do need more smiles on Monday. So I'm going to do the same. Well, for everyone listening out there, keep doing hard things. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys in the next episode.